Houston is down here in the lower right. So here's 290 up Jersey Village right into Cypress. So we're right on the edge of the 99 connector here. Okay, so we're outside the Beltway. So let's get a look at what the wind profile looks like in this storm, because that's going to give us a really good idea of what we're talking about. So we tell you all the time, you know, whenever we're in the situation with a tornado warning, oh, we look for the red, we look for the green, they got to be touching. This is a textbook definition radar signature that there is really good rotation within this storm, pretty strong rotation. It does look on the broader side to me, but notice how we've got, I'll draw it for you so it's really clear. We do have some brighter colors that are popping out on this map, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So the brighter the colors, okay, the farther away that you get from the center of that legend, the farther away you get, the stronger the winds are. So that's what you got to keep in mind. So wherever we see bright spots on this map, so some brighter red in here and then some brighter green in here, that indicates winds that are strong. So we're talking about in the red, we're talking about winds that are going in this direction. And in the green, we're talking about winds that are going in that direction. And that's for your rotation. That's the center of your rotation point. So the center of this cell right now that's of concern with a potential tornado is just to the south of 290. So if you live just the south of 290 here going into Cypress, you really need to pay attention. So let's get you in for a closer look, and we're going to kind of do a deep dive on exactly who is going to be seeing any impacts from this. So we're going to get you in really close here. Again, this is just outside the 99 connector. All right, so we've got Luetta Road, North Bridgeland. Let me see which, let me get us back to our other view here. Just bear with me, everybody. All right, so we're going to zoom out quick. So again, this is along 290 here. This is just outside the 99 connector. So if you live in the Cypress area, this is the area we're talking about. If you're just joining us right now, there's a tornado warning in effect. That red polygon here. So the yellow polygon was a severe thunderstorm warning, and then within a few minutes, the rotation within that storm got strong enough that the National Weather Service, they're the ones in charge of issuing these warnings. They said, yeah, no, this is too strong. We got to pull the trigger here with a tornado warning. So it's where the red meets the green. So there's your point of where that possible tornado is. So this is just off of Katie Hockley Road, now moving towards the south and east. So away from Katie Hockley Road, but pretty much towards Cypress. So if you live in the Cypress community, again, you'll want to be in your safe spot right now. Bridgeland Creek Parkway, if any of these names are jumping out at you, if you live near them, if you use them as landmarks, you know, I'm just going to try to name some off here. Fry Road down to the south. These are spots that are in the path of this potential tornado. So we zoom out just a little bit more. I want to get you a better idea of what we're talking about here. So Jersey Village, you're also on the edge of this. You're included as well. But the immediate concern right now is the area just to the south of the Northwest Freeway. All right, so we've actually got a TxDOT camera. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, so this is, so there's, look at all the lightning with this. I mean, that's the sign of an intense storm, right? So that's something that meteorologists use. When we look at the radar, when you see these big lightning bursts, that's indicative of a really intense thunderstorm. And that's what we're seeing with this. And I mean, everything's matching up here. I mean, this is very obviously a storm with very strong rotation here. And again, it is moving down towards the south and east. So that's the edge of that polygon. Let's keep that shot up if we can, just to get an idea of what's going on. So if I had to guess, I would say we're probably looking into the storm. So this is looking at 290. This is from Spring Cypress. So we're looking off this way. So we're looking towards the storm. Now, obviously, we're not going to see anything unless there's something in a lightning strike because it is so dark, but I'm gonna keep my eye up to the corner there just to see if anything catches my attention. But again, if you live here to the south of the Northwest Freeway, that's the main concern. Now this storm can turn and take more of a northerly track. It can dive south. That's why that box is drawn this way. That is not a good look though. The new update coming in, remember what I was talking about with velocity. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at wind speeds right here. That's why it looks different than the radar on your phone. We're not looking at rain intensity, we're looking at wind. So the red coloring indicates wind that's moving to the north, the northwest, and then that green, that indicates wind that's moving towards Houston, okay? So away from Houston, towards Houston, and in between you get this area of rotation. The brighter that color is, okay, the farther that we get away from the center point of that legend, the stronger the winds are. So what's really jumping out at me is that brighter green spot and some of these brighter reds in here. So if you're just joining us, we're coming up on the top of the hour, top of the 10 o'clock hour. We are tracking a tornado warning. This is in effect until 10:15, and this is for the Cypress area. Let's get back to full screen. So we'll do a deeper dive again, and we'll come back to that shot in just a few minutes. I want to do just a deeper dive on exactly where this storm is going. So we'll put a track on this. I might have to step off camera, so bear with me here. And I just want to put a track to see the timing on this. You know, where is this actually going? So this is moving down towards the south and east here. Okay, so this is moving pretty much down 290, pretty much paralleling 290. Let me read the actual text of the warning from the National Weather Service just so we know exactly how fast this storm is going. All right, so the National Weather Service is saying that this storm is moving towards the east-southeast at about 15 miles per hour. So we'll put a track on it and we'll set it to 15 miles per hour. So if you live in this path, which includes areas near the Cypress Ranch High School, areas near the Berry Center, that's around 10:10 to 10:20, so it's a slow mover. 15 miles an hour, take that with a grain of salt. That's they had it at before. It might be moving a little faster than that. If you live in the community of Cypress, you got to be in your safe spot right now. This is approaching the 99 connector as we speak. So 290, 99 connector, if you live in that area, safe spot right now. What is your safe spot? It's an interior room. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. When in doubt, just go to your bathroom. You know, as long as your bathroom isn't on the exterior of your house, as long as there's no windows looking outside from your bathroom, if your bathroom is in an interior spot, go in there. That's a good safe spot. Go to an interior hallway. Go to an interior door frame. Bicycle helmets, not a bad idea to protect you from any flying debris. This does look like a legitimate signature here coming in, again, just about to cross over the 99 connector. We'll get you in for a closer look again, just so we can, kind of see like the area that we're talking about. Still looks, it's broader rotation, but it's strong rotation. Those brighter greens and those brighter reds. This far away from the radar site, that's pretty impressive. So again, this is for northwest Harris County, up in the Cypress area. Here is the 99 connector. The Beltway in downtown is in this direction, and then this is the area of rotation that we're talking about. It's moving pretty much parallel to 290. So if you live along 290 south of Cypress going towards Houston, pay attention. So if you live along, Greenhouse Road, I'm just going to start, calling out roads. If any of these roads, or streets are landmarks to you, then you need to be in your safe spot right now. So we're going to start calling them out here. Fry Road, Cypress North Houston Road, out towards Greenhouse Road. We talked about that one already. Little Riata Drive. On the north side here, Neutral Bay Drive. Again, if you live on these streets, if you live near these streets, you got to be in your safe spot right now, because this potential tornado could be going either towards more of an easterly direction or diving a little farther to the south. That's why they have this warning drawn this way. Tuckerton Road. If you live near Huffmeister, if you live near Cypress North Houston Road, near Windshire Drive, okay? So this goes all the way from the Cypress area down towards Jersey Village. So this extends to just outside of the Beltway. And if this rotation holds together, they're going to reissue that warning. And that's going to include parts of the actual city of Houston potentially. So this is a dangerous storm. There's a lot of lightning. We had the lightning turned off here right now. It just looks messy. If you live in this area right now, the rain's probably coming down like crazy. You're probably getting some small hail as well, and the winds are picking up. There is a tornado warning in effect because this storm is rotating. The rotation has been there for the last 20 or 30 minutes, but it's definitely gotten stronger. And that's what prompted the National Weather Service to issue this warning. So if you're just joining us, top of the hour, 10 o'clock, we are following a tornado warning here in northwest Harris County, just issued. Let's get you in and we'll take a look at what the wind profile looks like inside this storm. There's your brighter green. Here are your brighter reds. The good thing is that we're not seeing a concentrated point yet where these two touch. That would be most concerning. The other thing, though, to take with a grain of salt is just the fact of where this storm is. compared to the Houston radar site, I mean, we're talking about several miles, and that makes a difference. And I got to pull it up on my phone here just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. But from the radar site that we're looking at this, we're about 40, 45 miles away. So the radar beam is looking up. It's not looking at the base of the storm. It's looking about 3,500 to 4,000 feet into the air. So instead, tornadoes, they happen at the ground level, right? So we're not looking at the ground level with this radar image. This is the storm itself rotating. That rotation potentially tightens up the closer to the ground you get. So that's what prompted this tornado warning. We got some really impressive velocity values, though, on this map. What's a velocity value? We're looking at velocity right now. We're not looking at rain intensity. We're looking at wind velocity values. Okay, so we use two colors to help kind of break that down for us. We use red and green. And when you've got wind moving, I want to show you this. When you've got wind moving in different directions, okay? So let's say, my left hand is the wind moving in one direction, my right hand is the wind moving in another direction, right? So what happens is that point in between where the wind is moving starts to rotate. That's your tornado. So that's what we're looking at here. Even though it's just two colors, red is wind going to the north and west, green is wind going down towards the south and east, and in between, that's where that potential rotation happens. All right, so let's get back to, we've got a camera shot. This is a TxDOT, this is a TransStar, Houston TransStar shot. So again, notice it's not raining yet, or if it is, it's still pretty light. Visibility is good, but the lightning count is still up. That's indicative of a very intense thunderstorm. You can see that shelf cloud there. It is starting to get closer to this part of 290. That lightning, though, is almost continuous. So this storm hasn't weakened at all. And also notice on here, I think this is a new scan, that's some brighter green. Let's see if we can do, if we could try to sample that. We'll do a little sample here on the radar. It's just be easier for me to walk off screen and do it. And we'll see how strong these winds are actually moving. So the winds in here, the strongest point, 18, 17, I don't think it's looking at the right part there. We're probably talking about winds that are even stronger than that. For some reason, it's not looking at the right part, but again, we're also looking higher up into the storm, so those winds are going to be stronger down towards the surface. A lot of lightning. The core of this coming over Cypress right now. The heart of the rotation is down in this area, so it's still just to the south of 290, the Northwest Freeway here. If you live in the south side of Cypress, you live in the south side of the Northwest Freeway, you really have to be in an interior room, in a bathroom, in a hallway, even in a door frame. Door frame is very secure. This is a different look here, Houston TransStar. So this is the Northwest Freeway. I would want to looking west. Okay. So the camera, the traffic closest to us. So I assume that's the traffic moving away. Okay, that's moving to the north and west. So this is looking pretty much into the storm here. And again, still a lot of lightning. We see that here. The reason why this is warned is not because of the lightning, it's not because of the rain, it's because we do have the potential for a tornado. We've got rotation within the storm. The storm is spinning. So let's get you back to that part of radar. We'll show you the velocity. And again, brighter green here coming up against red. It's not the most impressive signature I've ever seen, which is good, but it's also not the weakest. And in a situation like this is radar indicated rotation, right? So there's no one on the ground that said, yes, I've got a visual on this potential tornado. However, that being said, look at the rain coming down there in the screen on the right. I mean, just look at how heavy that is. If there were a tornado to come out of this storm, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it until it's too late. Brand new scan here, just coming with velocity. Notice the green, not as bright anymore. So the wind's a little bit weaker in this scan. That's good news. Hopefully it trends in that direction. And if we get a couple more scans that look like that, they will probably allow that warning to expire. Again, this warning is in effect until 10:15. If you're just joining us now, tornado warning in effect here for Northwest Harris County. That includes Cypress. That includes the edge here of Jersey Village. So downtown Houston is out in that direction. The loop, the beltway down in that direction here. Cypress community, though, you're pretty much right underneath the core of this storm, but the velocity here, the rotational signature definitely looks a lot a lot less scary than it was about 5 minutes ago. And we actually have a product that tells us what the wind shear is looking like inside the storm, and you can see no brighter blues, a darker blue. This is the weakest contour that you could get for wind shear. So there's a good sign. Hopefully this continues to move in that direction. Hopefully this cell continues to weaken here. What's going on? We've got a very weak cold front coming through, but it's moving slowly. And when these fronts move slowly, a lot of weird things start to happen with the wind, because all day, if you live in Houston and point south, we've had a really strong south wind. And then to the north of this front, it's a north wind, and where they intersect and you get these big thunderstorms, a lot of small scale stuff can happen, and that's where you get these little spin ups here. Let's get you back to radar. And let's go back to more of a home view here across all of southeast Texas, because let's say you live down on the coast. We're not really seeing anything severe down here at all. It's a couple showers. It's been a really loud evening, though. Up 45, up 59. Earlier this evening, there was a severe thunderstorm warning for Polk and San Jacinto. But right now, our focus is on that tornado warning that's in northwest Harris County, and that's in effect for another 8 minutes. And we'll see if they continue it. Right now, the velocity, the rotation, the signature that would tell us that there could be a potential tornado is looking a lot weaker. There's the good news. So again, if you live in between the Beltway, if you live in between 99, you're in a tornado warning going up to 90. Still a big lightning burst. That's something we look for. We look for rotation, we look for lightning bursts. Lightning burst indicates a really strong thunderstorm. That's what we've got out there. If there were to be anything, this is not the kind of storm that you can go outside and see this big, beautiful, picturesque tornado out in the middle of a field not doing any damage. That's not going to be the case with this storm. It's going to be rain wrapped. It's dark outside. You're not going to see anything. So if you live in this warning, you got to be inside, away from windows, away from the door, away from the front porch, and you got to be in your safe spot, because this thing will come at you with very little warning. And this is the warning we're giving you right now. So tornado warning in effect here, right in Cypress. This goes until 10:15. It's 10:08 right now. We are just past the top of the hour. This is going to be a long night with downpours, thunderstorms. This is going to be with us here as we go through it, at least the next few hours. So let's see if we can put a track on this. And we set it to 15 miles per hour, so I'm not going to take it out that far. So there you go. All right, so if you live near Farney Elementary School, I would say the next 3 or 4 minutes. If you live near the Berry Center, next 4 minutes. If you live near Feist Elementary School, the next 5 minutes. That's when you can expect this storm to reach you, the core of this storm where there's any rotation. If you live near the Weiser Air Park, again, 5 minutes. The Emmett Elementary School, if you live around there, expect this in the next 8 minutes, 10:17. And then if you live down towards Pridgeon Stadium, 10:18. That's when this storm is expected to reach you. So this is this is a very slow-moving cell, only moving to the east at about 15 or 20 miles per hour. So that's what the storm track looks like right now. Most of it stays in Cypress over the next 10 to 15 minutes. That's where the storm is right now. We'll get you in for an even closer look so you get a better idea of what's going on. And again, it's just dumping rain on 290. Do we still have that Houston TransStar shot? Do we have the first one that you showed us? Right, so this is the one that's been in the rain here for a little bit. Can we go back to the other one that you had? I just want to get a look to see if we can get a... It'll take a minute. Okay, it'll take a minute. Notice, though, no ponding on the road so far. That's good. We've also had flash flooding issues across southeast Texas so far this evening. No active issues right now. There's that camera shot I was looking for. And notice how the ground is actually still kind of dry here. Still a lot of lightning. It doesn't look like that intensity has changed much. So the storm is still a pretty strong storm. We're still probably going to get gusty winds. You're still probably going to get some small hail with this. You're going to get a lot of lightning, a lot of rainfall in a short amount of time. This is definitely not a night to be out. If you can help it, try to stay inside. So again, going up 290 here. Cypress, we're still talking about you with this tornado warning. Jersey Village, you would be next for this storm. I don't know if we're going to still see a tornado warning for you as this storm continues to move down towards the south and east. At least that's how it looks right now. We'll go back to radar. We'll see if we can get a new scan. Yeah, this is really broad now. This is great. So this is great news. We don't want to see a tight area of rotation with red and green. Instead, right now we're seeing a really broad area here again. So the red indicates those winds that are going away, going off towards the north and west, away from the city of Houston. And the green here indicates the wind moving in that opposite direction. So in between, that's where you would get in theory, any potential rotation in the form of a tornado. We're not seeing that. I'm not seeing that here. This looks a lot weaker than it did just about 10, 20 minutes ago. If you've been watching from the beginning, I mean, you see that also. We're not seeing any bright green, bright red that's jumping off the map at you. And that's actually, that's great. Hopefully that trend continues and they can let this expire. Let's see if we can loop this. And you can actually see the life cycle of this. Watch how I went from those brighter red and green. I mean, it definitely peaked here pretty much right over 99. And it's weakened substantially as it's moved now more to the east. Notice it's not going southeast. Looks like it's actually crossing over 290 right now. Looks like it's right over 290, the center of this cell. So the center of where this rotation might be, pretty much right over the heart of Cyprus here, crossing over 290. But again, it looks a lot weaker than it did just before. We've got 3 minutes left on this warning. Producer Tim, once we wrap up this warning, are we going to jump into the newscast? Okay, we're going to go, so we'll give this another couple minutes. Again, look, it's a dangerous storm. Tornado or not, we got a lot of lightning, we got some gusty winds, some small hail, and a tornado is possible at any point. We could get a new scan, and these values could jump up again. So we're going to be watching this for you even as the warning drops, and of course, if anything changes, we're going to jump back on. Outside of this tornado warning, notice we had this yellow box here. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. So again, we're not out of the woods. Once the tornado warning drops, if they decide, hey, this storm could still cause some damage, they're going to extend that severe thunderstorm warning. So if you live in northwest Harris County, it's going to be a next probably 30 minutes or so that you're dealing with this. And on top of the severe component, there is also the chance to see some flash flooding, ponding on roadways. These are really, really slow moving storms. In fact, I think I'm going to wrap up with that just to show you what the radar looks like right now, how slow these things are moving. We'll switch over to radar. We'll loop it over the last few hours. And I mean, this stuff's barely moving, right? I mean, we had some flash flooding issues in Colorado County. We had some flash flooding issues in eastern Harris County before. So these are really just kind of crawling along, moving off towards the east-northeast. So ponding on the roads tonight, that's going to be an issue. Just be safe if you're going to be out and about tonight. Nothing severe. It looks like we do have a severe thunderstorm. Is that a severe thunderstorm warning to the north? We do have a lot of heavy rain up here. I think that's a flood alert up to the north. Bottom line, though, we're going to be dealing with this here again for the next few hours. We are on the air for this tornado warning right now. It's about to expire in the next minute if they let it. As we take you up to the north here, yeah, this is heavy rain up towards Huntsville as well. You had a feisty thunderstorm. We had a severe thunderstorm warning earlier up towards Polk and San Jacinto, and they allowed that to expire just because that storm went sub-severe. We do still have a severe thunderstorm warning in place, though. That is for northwest Harris County, and that goes for another minute here. And as I jump over to radar on yeah, that is a severe thunderstorm warning up towards Huntsville. So we've got 2 out there right now. It's a busy night. So what was that, Tim? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to 30 more seconds on this warning. We'll see if they drop it. Once that happens, we're going to re-rack. We'll go to commercial break. We'll come back. We'll start the 10 o'clock newscast. We'll bring in the latest headlines, and then we're eventually going to have your full forecast. We're still keeping an eye on this. Good news, though, rotation has started to weaken with this storm. It's in northwest Harris County. There's nothing else severe outside of the storm in Huntsville. And just this, those are the 2 spots that we're watching for you right now. The one in Huntsville, by the way, if you're watching, a hail threat and a damaging wind threat. No tornado threat with that right now. And there you go, warning dropped off the map. So let's go to commercial break. You're watching KHOU 11. We'll be back with the start of the 10 o'clock news after this.
You have a Roku or Fire